Hello, all you wonderful, all you beautiful, wonderful people. Um, it's what day is it? Oh, December 6th, or yeah, December 6th, 2022. It's a little after 8 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot checking in with you. Hey, just wanted to talk briefly about the Senate runoff election in Georgia between Hershel Walker and Raphael Warnock. I, I'm really not all that interested, but it's taken a comical kind of twist, an unfortunate one for Herschel Walker, because I think he's probably a good man, and maybe he has good intentions. What is it about the Republicans? They don't know how to coach their candidates. It's a darn shame. In my opinion, this is my opinion, but all they had to do was coach him into, whenever he had the opportunity, to relate politics to football, because I think there's probably a good parallel there, and I think the two things probably have a lot in common in a context, in a philosophical context, I suppose. But yeah, I see a lot of similarities between football and politics, man. Knockdown, drag out, coming at you, strategize, use the clock, your captain on both sides, your coach on both sides can definitely influence the outcome. And Herschel Walker, I don't believe he was coached by anybody. Doesn't look like he was, and that's a shame, because I think if they had coached him to, whenever possible, relate politics to football, which he understands football, and if he does, maybe he could understand politics pretty well too. And we don't know how he would vote if he was elected to the Senate. And the election's not over. It's only 8 o'clock. I don't think the counting will be done until, next day or two probably. But it might become obvious. The winner might become obvious before the night's over. Who knows? But he had many opportunities, I know, to talk about smaller government and lower taxes. And I'll tell you what, that's going to resonate with a lot of voters on both sides of the fence, on both the Democratic and Republican side of the fence. And then, have a discussion with Herschel about what that means. That means, A, government's too big, and it is. And it's the government has this appetite for its citizens' money, like it's unquenchable. Now, I will say that I think that the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, it was a good move by a Democratic administration. It was a good move. I don't know if the Republicans were behind it. Probably not, since it got through. It's a shame that, why can't, there's so many regulations that overlap, and I'm not anti-regulatory. As a matter of fact, this recent debacle and collapse of the FTX crypto exchange was because of a lack of regulation. But he is headquartered in the Bahamas. That FTX dude, Sam Bankman-Fried, so full of BS. Full of BS. I think the first and last letter should be reversed, so it says FBS, like full of BS, Sam Bankman-Fried. He's in the Bahamas. I don't know that, in the end, and he ended up giving the Bahama government like $500 million, $500 million. And they're like, here you go. Will this take care of the regulations? Here's $500 million, and we're pals now, right? Yeah, okay. But anyway, and Herschel Walker could have been coached to say, that guy belongs in jail. And if he's on the soil of this country, if he comes and lands and he's in this country, if I'm in the Senate, I'm going to petition our law enforcement to put him in jail. Something like that. But instead he's talking about vampires and, my God, he talked about all this stuff that's irrelevant and nobody could connect with. And so he had no coaching. It doesn't require a lot of coaching. I don't think you need a lot of experience to work as a politician. I think you can see things that need to be done, things that don't need to be done. Listen to the other side of the aisle. Listen to your colleagues. Form your own opinions about how you're going to vote. I think Hershel Walker could probably do that. Raphael Warnock now has one full term under his belt. In the Senate, I believe in term limits of 2. That's 12 years on the best job on the planet, okay? And you're set up for life. If you serve 2 terms as a senator, that's 12 years. You're set up for life. That's enough. That's more than enough. Term limits in the House should be there too, just so we get some fresh blood in there, man, Although I am a fan of Nancy Pelosi's. I think she, did borderline ethical things, with giving her husband stock picks, borderline ethical. But I think she submitted a bill this year where people in Congress can't buy securities. That might solve the problem. Might solve part of the problem. Anyway, I thought that was at least an initiative, towards solving one of these perceptions of unethical activity, such as insider trading, and it needs to be addressed. Okay, a couple ways to address it. Get a law where they can't buy stock, or how about term limits? How about 10 years? How about being reelected? How about being elected 5 times to the House? That's enough. Okay, of a cream puff of a job. Now, do they work long hours? I'm sure they do sometimes. But working for them is sitting around chewing the fat. That's work. That's like negotiating in the back room, full of smoke. And dimly lit back rooms with smoke and the good old boys network. Only there should be elected women in on those talks too. Anyway, we'll see how it works out tonight. But Hershel Walker he really wasn't coached. I don't believe that there was anybody coaching him. How could he be talking about vampires being real and running for one of the most powerful positions on the planet? You need to be dialed into the issues, and to me, a major issue with the government nowadays is the breadth and the size of it, the money. How much our government is in debt. They have so mishandled economics that it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. We are 30 trillion with a T, $30 trillion in debt. You got to be kidding me. That's not going to last. And by the way, there's interest on that debt. And when the Fed raises interest rates like they have, they're also raising the interest rates on the debt that our government owes. So the interest rate payments, when they raise the interest rate, they also raise the interest rate on the federal government debt. So now the government owes all this additional interest on all of its debt. It's insane. It's really insane. And Mike Maloney keeps on talking on his Gold Silver channel on YouTube. He says this is a huge bubble, and when it pops, you better be ready. You better have a good food, an extra food, source of food, water, the essentials to live on. Because, in this day and age of fast-paced technology, things can change overnight. FTX, man, they were gone in 48 hours. They were done in 48 hours. The same thing with Terra Luna. These are crypto collapses. Voyager and Celsius, man, these exchanges look great, but they were run by corrupt dudes. Anyway, that's my opinion on the election tonight. And regardless of how you size it up, the Congress and the government's not going to get anything done because it's pretty much split down the middle. The Democrats hold a thin majority in the Senate, and the Republicans hold a thin majority in the House. So what's going to get done? Nothing, unless really nothing. Because to pass an act, you need, the House has to pass it, the Senate has to pass it, and the President has to sign it. So it's not like a simple thing that just happens with the snap of a finger, like crypto tokens, which is what crypto tokens, by the way, in case you don't know anything about crypto tokens are what's bringing down the house of cards. It's the house of cards are tokens. which are manufactured. They don't have to be mined. Bitcoin has to be mined, and it takes a lot of electricity to mine a Bitcoin, a lot. So the companies that are mining Bitcoins, they're paying to get these Bitcoins mined. They're not free. They're not created out of thin air either, as Donald Trump said. Bitcoins are mined, and they use a fair amount of electricity, just like everybody else does. Nothing more. Nothing that makes the electricity usage unusual. It's a rallying cry for people that want to get their name on television. That's really what it comes down to. And please listen to us, and we'll tell you any story you want to hear, just as long as you tune into our channel. What did you want to hear? Oh, bad news about crypto? Here you go. Bad news about the economy? Here you go. Bad news about Tesla? The #1 target in the world right now is Tesla, a successful American entrepreneur company. Very successful. But man, the mainstream media has got them lined up in their sights, man. They're just going to keep on shooting at them. The thing is, it never works, because the consumer knows what's good and what isn't. Eventually the consumer will figure it out. Peace, y'all, and I hope you have, it's really a rainy, miserable day and evening here in southeastern Pennsylvania, but hey, the sun's on the horizon, I'm sure. Take care, and peace.